Whoever guesses what animal this hide belongs to, the king will marry the princess to him. The man carefully examined it. He said this was a sow's hide. The king said the answer was wrong. The second contestant was very serious. He observed carefully with a magnifying glass. He said this was sacred tree bark. The princess looked a bit worried. The result was still wrong. The princess breathed a sigh of relief. The third was a handsome knight. The princess couldn't help but smile. After the knight looked at it, he said it was a giant manatee. The princess looked at her father expectantly, but the result was still incorrect. The princess was extremely disappointed. At this moment a wild man burst in. The guards immediately stopped the wild man. The king said everyone could guess. The wild man walked into the hall. The princess was full of terror. The wild man just sniffed it with his nose. He said this was flea skin. Unexpectedly the wild man guessed correctly. The princess couldn't believe it. She was going to marry this wild man. The princess was sad and upset. She went all the way up to the rooftop. But how could a flea be this big? One day the castle held the princess's coming-of-age ceremony. Suddenly a flea caught the king's attention. He kept driving the flea away. But the flea cooperated with the king very well. He no longer had the heart to watch the performance. He grabbed the little flea and returned to his chamber. He pricked his fingertip and watched the flea feed. Even gave it a private mansion. As time passed, the flea was already peanut-sized. After that the king fed it fresh meat every day. This day the king called for the royal physician. He had him examine the flea. The physician listened fearfully, but everything was too late. The flea died from overeating. The king wanted to choose a prince for the princess, so he had people guess the flea skin. The princess had no choice but to go home with the wild man. The wild man's home was in a cave, and the environment was very crude. The wild man treated the princess roughly. She felt extremely miserable. Suddenly singing came from outside. Could the princess escape?